up, you guys? Steven here for Off the Shelf Movie Night to talk to you about physical media, about Blu-rays and 4Ks and DVDs, the way we like to buy and own our movies and TV shows and documentaries, concert videos, all that stuff. We just keep seeing more and more things out there about how movies are being recut, re-edited, changed in digital formats, and then just going away. There's a lot of things going away, owned by Warner Brothers, oddly, going away from HBO Max. This is all just trickery. This is all just marketing. This is the Disney Vault method of trying to get anticipation up for things so that when they do come back, you'll subscribe and that kind of thing. I hate that stuff. Hate it. So that is why, not the only reason, but one of the reasons why I'm such an advocate for physical media. Because once you have it, they can't take it away from you. So I have been trying throughout this last June and then now into July of 2021 as I record this, in case you're watching this years from now, which I don't know, maybe you would, to do a 2021 complete collection update. I've done my Steelbooks, both standard Steelbooks and Disney Steelbooks. I've done the complete Arrow collection also. I'll link to those in the description if you haven't seen them. Check them out. Although, especially the Arrow video one, Steelbooks 2, you may notice those collections changing over this month because of all the sales. So if you want to see the complete Arrow collection, you need to watch the complete Arrow collection video and then watch the Camp Arrow Part 2 sale that is happening now as I record this. I have already recorded the video for my pickups because they came very quick. Hopefully you may have seen them already. If not, it'll be coming very soon after this. So speaking of bad sales tools or marketing tools, we're going to talk about Shout Factory. Shout Factory and Scream Factory. I lump them all together. It's one company, really. They just sort of break out their horror, especially extreme horror stuff, into Scream Factory, and then their other releases in Shout. They have some really great films. They have some really great licenses, but I don't like their sort of approach a lot of times to selling. They're not the only ones who do limited runs on things. They really are not. I mean, Vinegar Syndrome does some really extreme limited runs sometimes. Even Arrow Video will do some limited runs sometimes. I don't have an issue with limited runs of special editions because they're much more expensive to produce and they don't want to overproduce those. They want to sell just enough of those to make the money and then put out standard editions. And I'm fine with that because some things I don't need a limited edition. Sometimes I just want a Blu-ray. But Shout Factory sometimes will put out a standard edition of something at a premium price, and that just kills me. Or they'll put out a really super limited edition at a really premium price, and I just don't like that. But anyway, outside of that, I do like a lot of their releases. My collection is not as big as a lot of blue tubers out here. But I curate. I'm a very much more picky type of collector. So I'm fine with the size of it. It's growing. There are things coming this year that I'm very excited for. So let's go through my entire collection. And this is going to include standard Blu-ray editions, slipcover editions, and 4Ks. And we're going to start with the standard editions, and they're all just mixed up right now because I'm reorganizing. So here's my Shout Scream Factory collection. I'm going to try and be brief with this because I don't want it to be an hour-long video. If you haven't subscribed yet and you like talking about physical media, please give me a subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date on everything because there's so many videos coming out in the next couple of months. All right, so first up is Home for the Holidays. This stars Robert Downey Jr., Holly Hunter. It's really about a dysfunctional family getting together for Thanksgiving. It is darkly funny, romantic, and poignant. I love this movie. This is my favorite Thanksgiving movie, period. And I wish the edition was more premium. It's expertly directed by Jodie Foster, but I'm very happy to have this in my collection. Watch it every year. All right, next up we've got some garbage. I love garbage, and this is Invasion USA. I've slowly, quietly been collecting Chuck Norris movies. I don't need them all. I just want all the ones from my video rental childhood days, and this is one of them. This movie is hilarious. I also, quietly have been collecting Canon Group films. I don't need all of those either. They put out a lot of bad movies. I just want the ones that matter to me, and this is one of them. I love this. The gloves there and the unlimited ammunition in his Uzis. Very, very over this uber patriotic, kind of ridiculous movie. Speaking of low-key collecting, I've also been low-key collecting some Charles Bronson action movies. And here's another one that put out by Shout Factory, or Scream Factory. This is Death Wish 2. So the first Death Wish is a really great grindhouse movie. It was based on a book. Basically, this Paul Kersey character there, his wife is raped and killed, and he becomes a vigilante. And that movie is a commentary about crime in New York City, and it's great. And it made money, so they did a sequel, and this time his daughter gets raped and killed. And again, that sets him off. He goes back out on the street to kill people. And it's entertaining. Charles Bronson, I don't know, he's like an everyman kind of badass, kind of, the Bruce Willis approach, when Bruce Willis was good, approach to the everyman anti-hero. All right, next up we've got Swamp Thing, based on the comic book, directed by Wes Craven, actually, and starring Dick Durock as the Swamp Thing. Very campy kind of comic booky movie, kind of different for Craven. This is Adrienne Barbeau is also the heroine there. You can see kind of her picture there. You know her from John Carpenter movies like The Fog. She was also in Creepshow. All right, save that one for a minute. Next we have some other amazing crap. This is Ninja 3: The Domination. Sho Kosugi is one of my favorite action heroes from the 70s and 80s. And we have a woman here. She's an aerobics instructor. I think she's doing like that jazzercise thing from the 80s. Accidentally gets possessed by a demon ninja. Sho Kosugi must come and sort of exorcise the demon and then fight the ninja. Very campy, very silly, great ninja action. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so now we have Southern Comfort. This is sort of Walter Hill, who did The Warriors. This is his answer to Deliverance. Very similar movie. Maybe a little grittier. So if you've seen that, people, it's a double disc set, getting killed by rednecks in the woods. Very, very good movie. I love Walter Hill. All right, People Under the Stairs is another Wes Craven film. I haven't flipped this artwork yet. I do like this, kind of like this artwork. Let me just check and see if I prefer the other. No. I think when I got this, I told you guys in the pickup video that I never felt the original artwork quite represented the quirky weirdness of this movie. And it's literally about a twisted couple, kind of a twisted family, because they do have a daughter, with literally people under the stairs. The atmosphere in this movie is what makes it for me. It's so bizarre, and it's something that you could only get in the 80s with a director like Wes Craven. All right, we have Toby Hooper's Funhouse. I love this movie. It homages Halloween, literally in the opening sequence, like it recreates an iconic moment in that movie. And the simple story is a funhouse with people in it that actually kill. Fun, good movie. One of the movies that scared the living shit out of me as a kid, and that is The Town That Dreaded Sundown. This is based on a real serial killer who would come down to a town in Texas after sundown and kill people. I saw this way too young. I saw this as a little guy. And in the film, there are a couple of kills that stand out, one involving a trombone that changed my life. I think the thing that actually makes this movie, honestly, is this sort of documentary vibe it has. It makes it feel like, I didn't show you the inside of Funhouse, I don't think. It makes it feel like a real movie, and that disturbed the shit out of me as a kid. So I've been quietly, along with that Funhouse is this one, I've been quietly collecting because I did a documentary about haunted attractions called Family of Fear. New distribution method for that one coming very soon. It's going to be very cool. So I've been buying movies set in haunted houses, and Funhouse is a Toby Hooper movie, which I love, and then I got this one too. This one's okay. The Funhouse Massacre, same story, basically, except not as well done, of course, as the Toby Hooper film. Yeah, so when you see my complete collection, you'll see some of these horror films set in haunted attractions sprinkled in. Awesome. Here we go. We got some more 80s action, and this is Sylvester Stallone's Cobra. Another Cannon Group film, too. I love this film because it also has some social commentary about crime in this country, to the point that at the very beginning of it, Sylvester Stallone does a voiceover narration about, I think it's like how many times someone's killed, how many times someone's raped in this country. So it's like a very aggressive sort of grindhouse movie. Okay, here's a fun one. Night of the Comet. This stars, also has, in the ensemble cast, you'll see him there. If you know Star Trek Voyager, it has the actor that played Chakotay from that series right there. So basically, Night of the Comet follows a group of young people who find themselves, after a comet passes the Earth, they find themselves the only people on the planet. It's a cheesy sci-fi, teenager-y kind of, or not teenager, but young people-y kind of romp. I love it because I love this whole idea of an empty city with just being able to play and do as you please. It's a cute movie. Here's another Stallone movie. This is Nighthawks. This also has Rutger Hauer in it. This may have been his first movie role, maybe. He plays the villain. Stallone is a cop. Hauer plays a terrorist, and Stallone finds himself over his head because he's just a street cop, kind of a detective. But he must stop this guy. And this movie it's a good thriller, but it's known for an iconic stunt scene that happens toward the end. All right, here's a hilarious one. This is Motel Hell. And this is about a couple that basically they own a motel and they're cannibals. I'll leave it at that. It's a horror movie for sure, but it's real campy. It's real funny. Bizarre little movie. I love this movie. Okay. And thus far, I think I am actually preferring this artwork. I'll pull one of the discs out so you can see the other artwork. Here's the original art. And generally, I like the original art the most because it's nostalgic. But, I mean, this comic booky thing I'm not always a fan of. From Scream Factory, but at that time I'm leaving it. Just got this one not long ago. I haven't finished the entire set yet. I'm going through it. And this is a box set of all 4 Billy Jack films. Billy Jack is the character. He is a sort of a fighter of the 70s against the oppression of government and that kind of thing. It's very hippie vibes in this one, in this entire series. And it's very grindhousey. It's violent. Each movie he has to fight a different battle. And I think, from what I understand, I haven't watched them in a long, long time. I don't know if I've even seen all of them. I just remember them on TV growing up. And it's kind of a crappy package, too, to be honest with you. I hate these stacked disc situations. But I just remember some of them being on TV that my dad would watch them when I was a kid. So I was curious to just sort of dive in and revisit. I'll give you a full report after I've seen them all. All right, we've got the original Candyman here. I just wanted to revisit this film not long ago, especially when they started talking about the new one that they're making. I kind of wish I had just imported the Arrow one, but I think they're really similar. I believe they may even be the same transfer, honestly. And I got this one for a good price. Candyman, you say his name 5 times in the mirror. He comes to life and he kills you. There's a lot more to it. It's based on a Clive Barker story. It's Tony Todd playing the iconic role of Candyman himself. Very creepy. One of the best scores in horror movies. Just a simple piano riff that's creepy as hell. All right, let's move on to slips now. So I've said before that I don't necessarily pick up, especially Shout Factory releases, because I think Shout Factory slipcovers are garbage most of the time, to be honest with you, compared to what they charge for them. They charge an Arrow Video price, but they're not as good a quality as Arrow's slips, or especially as Vinegar Syndrome's slips. But if it's a movie that really means something to me, I'll take it with the slip. I'll spend the money, or if I get it used, which is the case for most of these, if I get it used and it happens to have the slip, and I'm happy with the price. So this is a 1981 movie, Hell Night. I love this movie. It has Linda Blair in it. I feel like I kind of grew up as she grew up in the movies. I always loved her. I still love her today. And this is typical sort of pledge night for new sorority and fraternity joiners. They have to go spend the night in a haunted mansion and find that there may actually be someone or something there to kill them. It's fun. It is a slow-paced movie, though, be warned. This is not going to be a kill every 4 minutes. This is 1981, guys. So they take things at a much slower pace. The ending shot of this movie is iconic, though. All right. We have My Bloody Valentine. It's another great 70s era slasher film. Basically, you've got someone who was killed in a mine, comes back on Valentine's Day to take revenge. It's a mystery and a horror slasher film. Again, a little bit on the slower pace side, but it really works. You know what? I didn't take this out of the slips. What is wrong with me? Anyway, I flipped this one to the original artwork. I love the original artwork on Hell Night. It says a lot about the look, this iconic fencing that goes around. I'm sorry I'm going back, but I want to show you. There you go. Anyway, back to My Bloody Valentine. My Bloody Valentine was actually remade in the 2000s, and it was a very good remake in 3D. Anyway, not much else to tell about the story on this one, but here, let you get a look. There's multiple cuts. There's some good extras on this one. And this is a pretty nice transfer, too. Flipped it to the original artwork once again. Love the original artwork on this one. And on the inside, we've got both discs. Blu-ray and DVD. Okay. So, moving on. This one I didn't buy for the slip, but I got it at a good price, and it had the slip with it, and that's Misery. It's a Stephen King story. This is the movie that put Kathy Bates on the map. Through circumstance, she ends up saving the life of her favorite author, but she is a very overly obsessed fan. This movie makes some changes from the book that end up being more iconic, I think, than what's actually in the book. The particular change I'm referring to. All right. And then let me pop this disc off, because I'm not flipping the artwork here. The artwork is pretty meh. So I chose to just keep the Scream Factory artwork on this one. I love a lot of the transition, like the movies that transitioned from book to screen from Stephen King. All right, this is a fun one. This is a John Waters film starring Kathleen Turner, who is someone I really love. I really, growing up, loved Kathleen Turner. And this is Serial Mom. Again, didn't seek the slip, but happy to have it since it's there. It's okay. It's fine. Basically, this is a mom who gets pushed too far, and she ends up going the extra mile to do right by her kids. Let me just say that. And it's very in-jokey, very meta, because her kids are hardcore horror movie fans. I believe they're watching a Herschel Gordon Lewis movie at one point in the movie. So it's gory to the point of silly, and this movie's hilarious. I just love it so much. I can't recommend Serial Mom enough. It's my favorite John Waters film. It has Tracy Lords in it also. All right, here's our first 4K. I think I have the 4Ks all together in here. And this is John Carpenter's They Live. Love this movie. It's a science fiction movie, very much a commentary on the era in which it was made, but also even now. So basically you have this random guy who's just looking for work that stumbles upon a pair of glasses that reveals to him that there are aliens hiding among us, controlling us. It's kind of a lighthearted movie, but a very dark ending. This is the era of John Carpenter's dark endings, and I love it. And can I just say I hate these black cases. I don't like the blue ones either, but I'm just not digging the black cases. And this is not even reversible artwork, by the way. They did, Shop Factory, Scream Factory didn't even give us reversible artwork on these 4Ks. All right. Here we have Prince of Darkness. This film is known for having Alice Cooper in it. He doesn't do a lot, but what he does is great. This is a slow burn film about sort of let's just say the gates of hell opening. I watched it recently. This is a very pretty 4K. They did a good job on this. This was actually not done by Shop Factory. It was done by Studio Canal. If you like Carpenter, I highly recommend it. It has all the things that he did well in the 70s and 80s in it. But it is a slow burn. All right, here's a movie that people don't talk much about, but I love this movie. This is The Entity. This is in the 80s, sort of the poltergeist era of horror when, ghosts were the big thing. And this is a very twisted movie. It has Ron Silver in it. And it's a woman who's being haunted by a ghost who actually rapes her. And there was a scene that I remember as a kid, the first time I saw this, from a rental. It scared the shit out of me. Special effects sequence, and I'm not going to ruin it because you need to see it. And I flipped this to the original artwork. In this case, it looks very sci-fi to me, but once you see the movie, it makes more sense. There's the disc. All right. Trying to clip through these guys because but we're getting to the end. We are getting to the end. Like I said, my collection isn't that big. Here we have Firestarter, another Stephen King. This one stars a young Drew Barrymore. This is one of his forays. He's still doing this once in a while into kids with superhuman abilities. And this was before the superhero movie, but I mean, she really is. She could be an X-Men character. Has a very creepy ass scene with George C. Scott. He's actually a creepy ass villain in this. All he wants to do is kill her and take her power. Okay. And let's see about the reversible artwork. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, it is somewhat nostalgic, but it's fine. It's not that good. Yeah, the George C. Scott scene creeps the shit out of me from this. And I'm a little concerned about this one. I feel a 4K may be coming. For some reason, I just have this gut feeling that could happen. But here we have a 70s movie, David Cronenberg, Rabid. I love this. This is David Cronenberg, if you don't know. He is a penchant for body horror. And this stars Marilyn Chambers, who's a porn star, essentially. I think it was Behind the Green Door was her movie that's of note. But anyway, she's in this, and basically after experimental plastic surgery, she develops a taste for human blood. And when she bites somebody, they turn into a zombie, and this causes a giant epidemic. Very cool, very fun special effects. David Cronenberg is, awesome. All right, the last one, you guys. It's over. This is the last one. It's a great place to go out. It's Sam Raimi's Drag Me to Hell. So basically, this young woman is accused of being rude, but kind of forced into it to a gypsy lady who puts a curse on her. And she tries to get help to break the curse before she gets killed. It's got some scares in it. It does. It's got some effective scares in it. But the great thing about Sam Raimi at his best, here's the original art, you may recognize this one, is it's funny. When you think about Evil Dead 2 and that kind of thing, Sam Raimi is at his best when it's gory and funny and scary. And this one is all of those things. The only thing that I don't like about this film that I wish there were more practical effects. has a lot of CG in it, and I just feel that Sam Raimi is somebody who should be doing practical stuff. But it's a great film. It's very funny, highly entertaining. So that's it, guys. That is my Scream Factory, Shout Factory collection as of today. Like, I've got more stuff coming, so it's going to change. But let me know what you have. Is there anything here that you don't have that you want to hear more about? Or just share your thoughts on my collection. And until next we meet, pull something cool off the shelf. Share it with your friends and family and remind them why physical media is the best way to watch films and TV. I'll see you guys on the next one. Almost dumped that.